Hello, fellow travelers who are tirelessly searching for meaning amid the rush of life. Have you ever wondered why ripe rice stalks, heavy with grain, tend to bow their heads, while wild grass always stands tall and stiff? Why does the vast ocean accept lying at the lowest point to receive all rivers, while small streams babble loudly through rocks as if announcing their presence? We are living in an age of noise. Not only the noise of engines and machines, but the noise of egos. Open social media and you are overwhelmed by endless performances, people flaunting wealth, others showcasing intellect, some displaying happiness, and even those trying to show off their kindness. In meetings, someone speaks louder just to overpower colleagues. At dinner tables, elders impose outdated experiences as unquestionable truths on the young. It seems everyone is trapped in an invisible race called, "I must prove I am better than you." But today, let us pause. Let us turn down the restless sounds outside and look deeply into a stark truth. Superiority is often nothing more than a thick layer of makeup. The more carefully it is applied, the more it reveals the flaws it tries to conceal. A truly strong person has no need to appear superior, and a noble life never needs to be decorated with a sense of superiority. So why do we crave the feeling of standing above others? The answer lies in a fundamental psychological paradox. The feeling of superiority does not arise from confidence, it arises from lack. Imagine an empty barrel. When struck, it makes a loud, hollow noise. In contrast, a barrel filled with water produces a dull, humble sound. Human beings are much the same. Individual psychology has shown that the superiority complex is actually a compensatory mechanism for an inferiority complex. When someone feels small or inadequate deep in their subconscious, they develop a strong need to construct a dazzling exterior to hide that inner weakness. Look at everyday examples. Have you ever met a boss or coworker who constantly nitpicks minor mistakes, uses grandiose language to confuse others, and always insists, "My way is the only right way"? At first glance, they seem authoritative, but through the lens of insight, you may see a frightened child inside. They fear being judged as incompetent, fear losing their status, and therefore puff themselves up and attack first to reassure themselves. Or consider the moral judges on social media who readily insult strangers. In real life, they may not be heard by anyone, so anonymity grants them a seat of illusory power. Putting others down creates the false satisfaction of feeling smarter, more ethical than their target. But this superiority is as fragile as mist. Those with real substance are busy cultivating themselves. Those with impoverished inner lives need flashiness to cover the void. It is like a short person standing on stilts to appear tall. A light breeze or a single criticism can cause a painful fall. Even more dangerously, the mindset of having to prove oneself contains a deadly trap. The more you try to prove yourself, the narrower your life becomes. Living with this mentality, you unconsciously divide people into two categories: an audience to applaud you or opponents to defeat. You lose the ability to connect authentically. In families, if a husband tries to prove he is the primary breadwinner while a wife tries to prove she sacrifices the most, the dinner table turns into a silent battleground. No one listens anymore, and love slowly withers in comparison. At work, those obsessed with proving they are the best often hoard knowledge, become jealous, and isolate themselves. They may rise quickly, but over time they slide into loneliness. The deeper philosophy here is this: when you are busy proving you are the most beautiful flower in the garden, you forget to enjoy the sunlight and the cool water. Every effort to appear superior becomes a burden, turning you into a prisoner of the shadow you create yourself. There is a saying, "He who stands on tiptoe cannot stand for long." Straining to be taller than others is an unnatural state. When exhaustion sets in, you will realize that peace is not found at the peak of superiority. but on the ground of authenticity. Continuing the journey toward authenticity, let us look at a stark rule of human life. In nature, the weak fear the strong as a matter of survival. But in human society, that fear has evolved into a culture of worshipping power. We easily notice flattering smiles and lavish compliments directed at those with status and wealth. That is instinct, but true human character, the human, with a capital H, is measured by an entirely different standard. That standard is not found in how you treat your boss or wealthy partners, but in how you nod respectfully to the elderly security guard, how you smile at the janitor, or how you respond when a delivery driver arrives late. If you are kind only to those who offer you advantage, that is the height of cowardice disguised as superiority. A truly strong person lifts others onto their shoulders, rather than stepping on others to stand taller. Look at the relationships around you. Why do people say, true friends are few, cliques are many? Because the feeling of superiority severs the threads of sincere connection. When someone boasts about a 5-star vacation to overshadow a friend's joy in sharing a backpacking trip, they turn a conversation into a marketplace of value. They win for a moment, but lose the relationship. Eastern philosophy teaches the spirit of equanimity. This does not mean equalizing wealth, but recognizing equality in human nature. Only when arrogance is shed can empathy arise. Do not let indifference turn your heart into stone. Do not use criticism and judgment as painkillers for the emptiness within. Painkillers never cure the illness, and a paper crown will soon dissolve in the rain. So what is the way out? To live with strength and serenity. Learn from water. The highest good is like water. Water benefits all things without competing. It flows to the lowest places that others disdain, and thus it is closest to the way. A truly wise person is like water, unafraid of low positions, unafraid of judgment, because they know their own worth. True superiority is not about surpassing others, but, as Hemingway said, surpassing who you were yesterday. Do not try to be a mountain that blocks others' view. Be the vast ocean that receives 100 rivers. To practice this, allow me to offer you 3 keys. Awareness of the ego. When you feel the urge to boast or judge, pause for 3 seconds and ask yourself, why do I want to say this? Am I hungry for recognition? The moment you recognize this monster, it begins to lose its power. Shift from judgment to curiosity, instead of looking down on others. Become curious about the story behind them. When prejudice is replaced with compassion, anyone can become your teacher. Practice anonymity. Do good without needing credit. Listen without interrupting. When you no longer crave being the center of the universe, you receive the greatest gift, freedom. Finally, take a small journey in your mind. Imagine looking at Earth from the vastness of space. From that distance, skyscrapers and social hierarchies disappear. 100 years from now, all of us will return to dust. Our tombstones will not display bank balances or titles, but the warmth we offered to others. Life is like a train ride. Whether you sit in first class or economy, everyone arrives at the same final station. What matters is not the seat, but how you treat your fellow passengers. Do not step off the train carrying only loneliness and regret. Superiority is like underwear, it does not need to be displayed. A truly noble person makes anyone they encounter feel respected. Live like a river, deep, quiet, and humble as it flows toward the sea. Because in the end, the highest mark of character is this: when looking down, you are not arrogant; when looking up, you feel no shame. Thank you for listening. May you find within yourself a steadier, humbler, and happier state of being.